Along with conducting their research, one of a grad student's tasks involved being a teaching assistant, or TA for short. Their responsibilities can include giving lectures, grading assignments, and formulating lesson plans, but mostly grading assignments. Let's observe this grad student grading his students' assignments as we learn about the different stages of grading. Here, we have stage 1, where the student has just started to grade their work. Notice how the student is in an unusually cheerful and motivated mood. He's very generous and understanding of any mistakes made by his student, yet at the same time, very careful and detailed with his grading. Let's go ahead and tune in.
Oh, it looks like they missed this question right here. Maybe they didn't understand it that well. Let me write out a really detailed explanation why they missed it, so that way they understand it next time.
Notice how much detail the grad student's response is to this incorrect answer. This is a key stage 1 behavior. Still writing.
There. Now they'll get it next time.
Let's move on to stage 2. The student has now been grading assignments for at least 1 to 2 hours. He's starting to get a little fatigued. He's still very careful and detailed in his grading, but he's starting to become confused why his students are missing certain questions that he thought were straightforward. He begins to question whether his teaching methods needs to be adjusted, or if it's just simply his students' inability to listen and learn. Let's tune in.
I wonder why they answered that question like that. I know I went over it several times in class, like we went over this, and they still missed it?
However, the student is still generous at this stage.
Well, they can get a C for this assignment, but they're going to have to do better than that next time in the future.
Let's move on to stage 3. It's now been about 3 to 4 hours of grading. The student is starting to get frustrated and angry with his student's work. Despite him going over the material several times in class, his students' responses are not even close to the correct answer. The student now doesn't even bother writing a detailed response like he did in previous stages, and instead just marks it right or wrong and moves on to the next question. However, his X's or slashes for wrong answers are much bigger, and they can tend to take up the entire page sometimes. If you're one of the students in his class, you better hope your assignment is not seen at this stage. Let's tune in.
How did they miss this question? I told them they answered like 20 times in classroom and they still missing it. What is up with these students? Can they not think? F. Oh, you too? You get an F too.
Let's move on to the final stage, stage 4. It's now been several hours and the student is completely fatigued. He doesn't really care at this point, looking through each question carefully, and instead checks the assignment as a whole to briefly see if the answers are somewhat correct. At this point, he begins to question why he thought being a grad student, let alone a TA, was a good idea in the first place. Let's tune in.
Let's see. Yeah, that looks like they got everything right. Let's give them an A. They filled out like half of the stuff. I'll say that's a C. F. F. This person even filled out half of the thing. I'm done. You know what? I'm done. Screw this crap. I'm done. I'm done.